Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Pen Rambling. My name is Agnes, and this we will talk about all goodies. So, when I was searching for other items in my stationery box, I got a box where I store all my stationery, and I came across this case where inside, hang on if I can open it. Okay, inside I saw these all. It used to be in the market in the olden times, but now people are more and more using ballpoint, those 1 or 2 ringgit pen, and fountain pen become more and more scarce to get in a normal ordinary stationery shop. So when I saw this, it brings back memory when back then fountain pen was easily accessible, and nowadays you have to go online or specialized pen shop, those shop that sells fountain pen. By the way, do you like my background? I try not to show you the grit of my pen because other than doing fountain pen, I do hobby of leather work. So this is not a real crock, it's just embossed, but it does look like, some of us may think it's very the Malay say very geli. Okay, some of us is okay. So I hope you're not turned off by this background. Okay, let's get back. So now which one is one of these pen is my first fountain pen ever, and these are the old time. So what I'm gonna do is let's talk about how I got into fountain pen, and let's see how this perform after all these years in the storage, where it was a gift and I kept it and never use it. So let's see if it's usable or what. So let's start. So the brand that you see in front of you is Hatta. Hatta used to be like very common found, and I'm thinking that it is not available nowadays. At least this brand is available like as common as we can find Schaefer, Sam Parker, okay. But now you cannot even find this brand anymore, and there are two of them. So one of them is the green color, the other one is a pink color. Both of them is fountain pen. They do have nice looking nib and a decent feed and all. I have not gone through and see how it looks in the feed, but I'm pretty sure there is no converter. Now this is all brass or metallic, if you can see here. Okay, so it's brass metallic. I think it's brass more, because if it's metal steel, it should have rusted after all these years. But since I do store it properly, as you see, not properly as improper, but it's in this case where they have 3 slots pen. And then this is new, I think. Well, you see a little bit of tarnish there, if you can see it. Okay, some tarnishes. And oops, I think something is delivered. Oh, okay, it does look like nice, and the feed is, I believe this is plastic. It does feel like plastic. And this one, so I think it's brass with plastic part here, and of course this part will be the steel, and it's quite heavy for a pen of this size. I should have brought my scale up. And then I have this one. I think this is not Parker. Yeah. If you look at this cutout, it looks like if it is flexible, but even if I do this, it's so rigid. Like if I do push it anymore, and not so sure. Okay, feet is plastic again. This one is rubberized, if you can see. Okay, it's rubberized, so it's not as good material as the other, so it start to right. Malaysia, at least in where I live, is hot and humid, and the humidity of it can actually destroy a rubberized finish pen. I have one rubberized finish pen, which was Faber-Castell. Okay, now it's Faber-Castell Essential. It used to be called Faber-Castell Basic. The grip section was a rubberized, so kind of like gone destroyed, and I sent it back. They replace it, but I never use it again because I feel like if I use it again and again, it will destroy again. Okay, so those are the pen that I got long time ago but never use it. And this is my first pen. Was it? Yeah. Let's see. I'm pretty sure you cannot see that it is engraved with Parker. I think this is Parker Jota, the cheapest one in the range of Parker. And I got this when I was 9 years old, I think, or 10. And because everyone in the class was using, not everyone, most of us who were allowed to have pen, there's a story for it, hang on, allowed to have pen to can use fountain pen. So if in Malaysia, usually we don't use fountain pen, but I was studying abroad because my dad was further studying abroad, so the whole family went together, and I went to this country. Should I mention? Okay, to Bradford, and kids there were allowed to have fountain pen when they reach year 4 or 5, because their primary school, the primary school is only up to year 5, and then they go to secondary school at age of 12, so they only have 1 to 5 year at primary school. Okay, and those who had fountain pen, they were able to bring it at school as long as the teacher said you don't do anything silly in the class. So I saw that they have fountain pen, and I begged my dad to buy one for me. Back then, this Parker pen was relatively cheap because in a box, some sort of like a gift box, they have this fountain pen with ball pen combo. Okay, fountain pen and this one combo. So I bought that one. I think it's around £10. If you look at £10, it's quite cheap for a price right now. But back then, £10 was alright lah, in a middle price for a kid of 10 years old. And my dad said you use your own pocket money to buy. So I save up and use my own pocket money to buy. And I was very excited and bring it to school. And luckily, with all the moving houses and thing, this pen is still with me. So now I don't use it anymore. Number one, even though I have the converter here, back then when I was a kid, the hand grip is like our hand is smaller, right? So you can grip this because this is very slim, like slim. And nowadays I don't really tend to go for a slim pen. Plus this, the nib length is quite short and small. So when I was a kid, this was perfect for me. Then now it is quite short compared to all those nib that I do use. Let's say I take a TWSBI, and if I compare them side by side, the length is like very far apart. So it is not comfortable for me to hold it right now. But you may ask, why do I want to keep it? It's a, what do you call that one? It's a keepsake, it's a memory, sentimental value. So I don't want to sell it off. I'm just keeping it. Make sure that these still can function. So after I dip it in, it still can write. So what I'm gonna do now is try to zoom you in, or bring you in. Ants. Okay, I'm gonna dip my pen and Pilot Takesumi, and hopefully I don't make a mist anywhere. And this is a live notes with Tomoe River paper, like usual. And I'm gonna write something. I still can write, but I feel too slim to my liking. And I believe this is medium nib. Not sure, but it looks medium to me. Correct me in the section if I'm wrong, but I think this is Jotter. I never get around to remember what model is this. And this is a quite old model because it's all plastic and it's quite cheap back then. See, I still can write, but Hiroshi, but it's not comfortable for me to write right now. So one of this. So that will be my first pen. My first ever fountain pen. I'm still keeping it. Do you still have your first ever fountain pen? That will be the question for this week. Still have it? If you still, make sure you comment in the comment section below so that we can share to the world how our first fountain pen ever took us from the first step until right now. Oops. Gonna do the same for this pen. And I have not washed anything. Hopefully that it will write something. And Parker's still around, right? So can you imagine how old is that pen? Alright, I'm gonna try with this pen. Let's move this one up. Still can write, but it's a little bit scratchier compared to Parker. I won't call scratchy, feedbacky, but because this is on Tomoe River paper, usually the feedback is quite minimal for most of the good, grounded, nice, polished fountain pen. Not sure what nib size, but it looks medium to me, or fine. Oh, this may be fine in Parker Jotter since I've written with so many medium Japanese nib that I kind of forgot how fine nib looks on Western nib. So this writes well. It still can write, it still can do what most fountain pens should be able to do, but you know, it's a steel nib. It's gonna be very hard and all. Right. So I think that's all for my pen rambling this week. the old goodies day where we find fountain pen. I'm not so sure if I want to sell this or what, because like that. Okay, so what is your first fountain pen? Do you still keep your first fountain pen? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you again in my next video. Take care and bye bye.